if I go down, that's 220. 440, 220, 110, 55. And so what happens is that coming out of the Renaissance into the Baroque, people started that were instruments builders said, you know, we got to get together on this. In the 80s, instrument manufacturers started doing the same thing in the world. They were building synthesizers, and they came up with something called MIDI, Musical Instrument Digital Interface. And that's how that exists. So the chips that are in your iPhones or your pads or whatever you have, those samples are set up at the same sampling rate based on the idea of coming out of the Renaissance into the Baroque. And what happened is that we went from just having the white keys, those church modes, and then we added the black keys. And so before that we had this. And that's all we had. And that's the whole do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But what we found is that most of the chants sounded like this. That doesn't sound anything like do, re, mi. But once the idea of musical instruments came into effect, now instead of this, we tuned the instruments by half steps, and that's why you get this. Up a half, up a half, up a half, 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 half. So think of it, between 440 and 880, you can scientifically do the math, so you can move up 1/2 step between 440 and 880, and you have 12 different notes. That's where it comes from. And yes, it's science. The lab guys with the pocket pouches, they're not musicians, they're scientists, but they're the ones that came up with this idea of that's where it comes from. All right, so let's finish up. You're going to go all the way up to page 93. So you need to have read up to page 93. That's your first exam. You need to listen to the music. It'll help you understand what the book's talking about and what I've been talking about. On Monday, we will have the review. The way it works, I will fill that board up with topics. Topic example, in other words, monophony, homophony, polyphony, those will be up there. And then I'm going to say, Haven, what does monophonic, what does that mean? And Haven's going to do two things, one or two things. She's going to say, I don't know. Or she's going to give me a definition of what that is. At that point, I'll say, that's excellent. Or I might say, who agrees with her? You all have to pay attention. So some of you put your hands up, some of you won't. Okay, some of you that didn't put your hand up, why not? And I'll pick on you. I will not give any answers Monday. Not one. And my students tell me I give great review. Here's why. You're going to help each other. You're going to give the answers. You're going to do it. Statistically, that means that you're all going to score 30 to 40% higher. Because when you listen to what Haven says, you're much more likely to remember her right answer than I say, okay, here's the answer to this, write this down, it's this. And then the next one, it's this. And then the next one is this. You need to know this. No, you won't get it. But when you hear from each other, statistics show that you will. Please do not be late for the exam. I hate that. Because guess what happens? If you walk in the door late, what does everyone in the class do? What do they all do? If you walk in late, yeah. If you're sitting there taking a test and somebody walks in the door late, what do? You turn and look at them. You were cooking, man. I got that one. Yeah, okay. Completely, yeah. Don't do it. Now, I've thought about locking the doors, but I'm not going to do that. I've thought about taking points off. If you're a minute late, 1 point off. 2 minutes late, 2 points off. 3 minutes late, 3 points off. But I had students last fall, came in 20 minutes late. I wanted to shoot them. But I didn't. But you know what? How well do you think they did on the test? They had the lowest scores in the class. Because they didn't care. If you don't care enough to show up on time for an exam, you probably aren't prepared for it anyway. Now, 20 true false, 20 multiple choice, 10 matching. No extra credit. There's no curves. This test will average all of you together around 85. That's a B. Statistically, it's amazing. Might be 86, might be 84, but it'll be right around 85. Usually, the first test is higher than that. Usually. But the problem is that there'll be 1 or 2 of you that are going to get C's, going to get like a 70. You know, some people might even get like a 64. And what happens is that drags everybody down because there's probably 8 to 10 of you that are going to get A's. You miss 5 questions on my test, that's a 90. That's still an A. Come to the review on Monday. If you come to the review, you'll pass the class. You'll probably get a B, and we're a good chance of getting an A. Monday, when the class is done, pull out your phone, shoot the board. And then you'll know exactly what's on the test. There are no trick questions here, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't rocket science. Read the textbook, come to class, pay attention, take notes, you'll be successful. But don't come late. Any questions? All right. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday.